We're back after that short break. Welcome back to the Iesf Asia and Oceania qualifier. Still with me, Kim, and Husky, bringing you the action for the final matchup for today, Kazakhstan versus Uzbekistan in our final BO3 of the day. So many things have happened all throughout the day. I mean, I've been here from start up until the finish, so it's so nice to see the ladies once again duke it out, of course, here in the qualifiers. But how are you feeling, Husky? This is our last series of the day.
Yeah, I'm still feeling energetic for more after watching some quality ML earlier on between the Philippines and Myanmar. But right now, I think it's sometimes we go from the major regions to some of the more less seen ones on the global stage. I think this series is going to bring us some surprises as well. Kazakhstan against Uzbekistan, we don't get to see them often competing against each other, let alone playing Mlbb competitively. So I think this is going to be a treat. It's sort of like a dessert, right? A palate cleanser to see what the other side of the world has in store for us. Maybe they know some metas that we don't.
Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan. Last time I've seen them was also in day number 1 for the male division. And yeah, there's a lot that you can say when you see how the banning phase and the picking phase is going to go. Let's take a look at the team roster here for Kazakhstan. It's going to be Nile, Blinked, DD. Did I say that right? Dex, Primal, Roar, Sai, and Lanayir. That will be playing for the team roster of Kazakhstan.
Yeah, and if I remember correctly, like even in the men's division, for these regions, even in the men's division, I think it was Kazakhstan in the men's division that had a decent record. I gotta check it in a little. Gotta check it just to make sure. But overall, I think we have no. It was the women's division, right? Kazakhstan in the group stage, they did have a 2-0 victory. They basically just almost clean swept everything. In terms of matches, they 2-1 Uzbekistan and they 2-1 against Kazakhstan. So this is sort of a rematch from that group stage, which in of itself is pretty interesting. At least this one is for the mixed division. For the women's division, if it tells us anything region-wise, maybe Kazakhstan is going to be the favorites to win it.
Yeah, there's not a lot of like what you said. There's not a lot of information. Maybe not a whole lot of tournaments just yet in their region. So we're gonna have to find out. This is definitely one of them, and it's at the grandest stage at that. So I want to see what they'll pull off. So far in the male division, I feel like it's pretty much a similar method with what we'll get in the women's division, maybe like a mix and match of what we've seen in the male division. But so far, I think they're up to date with the meta. They're up to date with what's going on, and they've been keeping up with the current meta because yeah, there's a whole lot of Lancelot still for today. Got to catch us even. So I want to see. I don't know. There was also a time that Uzbekistan also pulled off something uncontemporary. We've seen a lot of uncontemporary also today for those who have been watching since the start of the stream. A Beleric that was picked up today had a high success rate, won the game. We've seen a Cecilia and Carmilla combo that just took the game by storm also. So there's a whole lot of things going on. I mean, I can't believe I was here from start to finish and still holding out strong here up until this the last series of the day. So let's see. We've seen a game number 3 for today, so I'm catch me by surprise, Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan. I want to see what you guys have got up your sleeves today.
Yeah, again, totally, very, very excited to see what they have in store for us, right? If in the other divisions if the other division is any indicator, then maybe Kazakhstan, like I said, is going to be the favorites. But I'm not going to put it past Uzbekistan. I think a lot of times when we kind of watch competitive MLBB, we sort of overlook these regions, right? Because we don't have enough info on them, but that's how they kind of surprise us every now and then. So MLBB is defined by the draft. We're gonna head into the draft, and right off the
Wow.
bat, we are seeing clear signs of priorities, right? CC Bruno first phase ban, bit of a surprise, but I would assume it's the comfort pick of Kazakhstan. But no Haya, no Yishun, no Arlet, and the Kalaya first pick. So Lancelot still open.
Lancelot, Zushin, even I think a lot of the teams love to prior this, knowing that she has a whole lot of utility in her kit. But it's gonna be a different route here for the side of Kazakhstan, going in for a setter as well. Again, flex for the Badang, could go to the Roam, could go to the XP. The CC has been banned away, so which means that I want to see a Lapu Lapu here in this last game. Me and Nice to have been talking about it in the last time I casted. The last time I said, oh, Whoa,
Wh-
whoa.
But well,
Yeah,
speak of the devil.
I want to see it. And there you go.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
There you go. The lapu lapu.
Ask and you shall be, ask and you shall receive, right? Lapu Lapu. I mean, I've also talked about the Lapu Lapu in the previous series where where I want to see this hero. It's such a powerful hero right now. Great diver, in great damage and just strong laning. And we see the Irritate being picked up by Uzbekistan. Like this, I mean, the teams are incredibly decisive on who they want to pick. So it's already got to be very excited. The Farsa comes out, power picks for Uzbekistan.
Yep, solid damage as well. Great area of effect for Uzbekistan, but they are gonna have to watch out, of course, for the combination here of the Badang and the Lapu-Lapu that can be very deadly. You add the Granger here in this lineup as well, going to the side of Kazakhstan, great range. I would say can go head to head, of course, with the Iritel. But we're heading over into the second banning phase just like that. It's so fast. I feel like these two teams have already gone up against each other, maybe in ranked games, maybe in scrims even. So I think they have a little bit more of information here with how fast the banning and picking is going here in the this final matchup of the day, match
Mm-hmm.
number 1, by the way. So it seems like there's no junglers just yet for both sides. So are we gonna be taking away more assassins here right now for both sides, or maybe even pressure out the XP lane since Kazakhstan already has a very solid powerful XP laner here.
I think if you are Kazakhstan, you probably won't be too worried about banning out junglers because you can forfeit your jungler, right? You can forfeit your jungler and give yourselves an edge. And if you are Uzbekistan, you're also thinking the same thing. I don't want to ban out too much junglers and leave myself with no room to breathe. So banning out the Fredrin, it
Hmm.
makes a lot of sense. We still have the Baxia, Akai, Lancelot still left in the pool, the Joy too. So 4 decent junglers for them to pick and choose. Whereas for Kazakhstan, I think you can ban out another XP laner just to give your Lapu Lapu a great time.
Hmm.
There's already no Uranus, no Arlet, no CC. They ban out the Ruby as
Oh,
well.
the
So
Ruby.
okay, they're really hammering in on that XP lane and making sure that if there's one lane that starts snowballing, they would want it to be the Lapu Lapu. Considering that this Lapu Lapu got picked first and then the Farsa came afterwards. So it is
Mhm.
definitely kind of a wet dream for a Lapu player right now.
Yeah, the Lancelot comes through as well for the final ban here of Uzbekistan. Honestly, really difficult to deal with the Lancelot, especially in the subjective takes. And if you want your XP lane to win, you definitely wouldn't want somebody like the Lancelot, stealing up the objectives from afar. But looking at Kazakhstan here, are they going to be beefing up their lineup with, a utility type of jungler? But then again, it's really difficult to have that kind of setup, right? Like you need a burst mage. Will an Eve be a a pick here, or the Zushin even, which is open if you want to go for like utility here for Kazakhstan? There's gonna be so much utility, but okay, they go for Selena here
All
for
right.
the Vision pickoffs up against the Farsa and the Iritel. I mean, I'm not so sure about the Iritel; it's a bit more mobile, but the Farsa though, that's gonna be a primal target here for the Selena.
Yeah, so there's even more crowd control coming out from the side of Kazakhstan. But again, it's a composition like one Selena arrow lands or one Badang engage, connects, and suddenly it's going to be chaos. But hold on a minute, a Suyo
Suyo.
is Suyo in this meta. I have not seen Suyo ever since this
Oh,
patch was a thing.
same.
So the Boxer gets picked up. This is a Boxer XP. So
P,
we are kind
yeah.
of dialing it
Not
back,
unless.
1-2 patches,
Yeah.
sort of 1-2
Mhm.
patches.
Yes. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, is it gonna be a Suyo XP? I mean, I did see that, but knowing the Suyo's kit, it's more of a jungler than an XP laner. But Kazakhstan, though, they still need to seal deal with their jungler. Are they gonna go for a utility, or more of the damage, right? Like, I feel like with the Badang and the Lapu Lapu to set up the place, they can perhaps go for that. Oh, Guinevere
Wow,
jungle.
okay.
So this is throwback to what 2 seasons ago, maybe, or a season ago, a whole lot of patches ago actually, when other players were still playing. This was a thing. Guinevere in the jungle, great for setups. So much setup sphere for Kazakhstan. If they do land in all those ultimates all at the same time in the right place, right time, it could really work out well for them.
Okay. I mean, we started the draft with, us saying that, wow, the team, they really know what they want to go for. We saw so many power picks. And then the second phase kind of threw us off a little bit. Like this Suyo. Suyo Baxia, and then with the
Guinevere, yeah.
Guinevere, I can see the idea. Like Kazakhstan has a very clear idea. Like one guy lets a crowd control, suddenly it's lights out. But for Uzbekistan, it's not too bad. I mean, I would like to believe in this Baxia XP again. You know, it was popular for a while, but we did say that they bring surprises. So let's see what they have. Wow, a Baxia with a Purify of all things.
Oh wow. I was actually expecting a Baksha on a okay, so it's to counter out the Guinevere. The Guinevere perhaps, like you don't wanna be landing on the Guinevere skills, right? And getting caught in between. But yeah, I was expecting a Revitalize, maybe even a Vengeance if you're gonna be playing it on the XP. But yeah, wow, Purify on the Baksha. But let's see though, this is the first game. Kazakhstan versus Uzbekistan here for match number 1 of our final series of the day.
You know what they say. Sometimes it takes the Purify, maybe every man for themselves, but I can understand the sentiment, right? You give away a little bit of the survivability with the lack of Revitalize, but at the same time, you make sure that you're not gonna die the moment someone hits you with a crowd control. And even this
Mhm.
middle lane, plenty of pressure from
Mhm.
Kazakhstan side. Again, this Selena arrow is making life incredibly hard. Another connection.
Mhm. Yeah, just 1 and 2 skills is just enough, right? For the team members here of Uzbekistan to back away. So much pressure down bot though. This is looking a bit all right, right? Like the Baksha, I do actually see this in the XP lane, especially even here in the lady scene in the Philippines. This is a thing also, the Baksha and the XP lane. But then this is again a very a throwback to seasons ago. Mostly like you see the Baksha on the roam and the juggler position right now. No pickoffs just yet. 20 seconds before the turtle is up. And looking at how things are going, a lot of purifies on the side of Uzbekistan. So that's a massive respect towards the Guinevere and perhaps even the Selena at one point.
Yeah. Again, whoever gets caught is gonna disappear.
Mhm. Yeah, okay. That's going to be a takedown onto Psycho there by Hinata. And Io Lim going to be the next one. Forced to flicker out of that one. Dex Primal going to be trying to get somebody there, but it's going to be just pulling the rest of her members to safety. But that's going to give Uzbekistan a much better position into the tournament without any contest at all from the side of Kazakhstan.
A bit unfortunate from Kazakhstan. Psycho sort of overextended and they didn't really know where the members of Uzbekistan are at. And here comes
Oh,
the
the red tree?
invade. Actually taking the
Mm-hmm.
purple buff away, and unfortunately,
Mm-hmm.
Nialim is just late.
Yep. Forced to use the bravest fighter out, and now Iron as well. Gonna try to find somebody there, but this is a great start for the side of Uzbekistan, even going as far as pressuring the purple buff from the Guinevere here of Psycho.
Yeah, just like that. I mean, Uzbekistan off to a decent start. Again, doesn't really give them much of a lead, right? It's still the same net worth for both teams. There's not really much that they got out of that except for Turtle. Even for Mlbb, still pressuring this Irithel despite being in a losing matchup. And gotta remember, all Kazakhstan need is a good setup with a crowd control, and a bit of arrow or Guinevere knockup, and they could convert that easily into a kill. So they are fine with losing that initial turtle.
Oh, Hinata. Lana Yem misses out that last hit onto the of bravest fighter, forced to flicker out with 1 HP there. And that's what you get with the Baksha, right? Like just countering out all of the sustain, all of the lifesteal coming out from the Lapu Lapu. But here you go, the Feather Death Strike from Yasya, zoning everybody out from the side of Kazakhstan before the turtle. One resource away. But for now, no pickoffs just yet. Uzbekistan started out real strong, but now Ayam gonna be finding something in. Gonna get the Tsunami Slam there, and Psycho gonna try to find in a target here, but it's gonna be Iron, Hinata, and the rest of the gang gonna be sustaining all of the damage there, forcing Kazakhstan to back away once again. This is a thing that happens time and time from Uzbekistan. They're poking a lot of the members here of Kazakhstan, giving them a much better opening to all these objectives like the turtle.
Yeah, and they are not really losing much, right? At the end of the day, they still should be. They will get the objective, and continue to make sure that Kazakhstan doesn't run away with the game. They get the turtle for themselves, and even this Baksha XP lane, it's acts as a big sandbag to keep this Lapu Lapu in check so that he doesn't participate in the fight and help out his team. That severely slows down the tempo of what Kazakhstan wants to achieve.
Yeah, I think this is probably the reason why Lana's always late to the party. You got Hinata just intimidating you in the lane and at the same time doing so well of sustaining this lane, right? Like forcing the Lapu Lapu to not go in for the engage every time there's a team fight here, which is the reason also why Uzbekistan is so confident in, diving or perhaps engaging here up against Kazakhstan, even though they do have a very deadly type of lineup here in the mid lane, Salina and Badang, that can just catch the members here of Uzbekistan.
That's gonna give Uzbekistan some room too. We can see that Kazakhstan, they are not backing down from the pressure. They are still trying to look for openings, albeit a bit tough right now. And this Lapu Lapu are not able to string into action just because this Baxia keeps keeping her in check. Like Hinata is doing a fantastic job, and now a potential four-man gang down bot too. Let's
Mhm.
see if she can hold on.
Yep, it's gonna be Lana Hinata diving right in, but that's
Wow.
not gonna be enough. But on the top side, though, there's gonna be a mirror move here from the side of Kazakhstan as they take down Space Love Us on that Iritel as well. Just a mirror move from both sides, just understanding how this works, and the macro plays as well, taking in the purple buff as well here away from Psycho of Kazakhstan.
Okay, like that's actually not too bad. I mean, they lost the Lapu. It's still a win for Uzbekistan, right? But at the end of the day, when you look at the trades, both teams actually got a 1-for-1. They got a turret in the side lane and they got a kill on the enemy core. Third turtle spawns, and if Uzbekistan takes this objective, then they will start to really be in control of the game. Whereas for Kazakhstan, they're still trying to find that opening. They have a lot of single target spells, but the problem is
Mhm.
being able to commit to it when they actually connect with their abilities. And in that case, the fact that they are slightly behind
Mhm.
means that they will need a bit more time to get those items online.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we see as well that Psycho just clearing out the waves there up top. So I'm thinking that they might actually want to just give this. Are they gonna give this turtle? No, Psycho's here already, so it's already at one half HP. That's gonna be Lana starting it up there with the tempo, fetid airstrike from the backside, and finally catches a glimpse of Yasya there setting up the place, but it is going to be Lana getting bursted down there by Hinata as Psycho. It is all according to plan, getting in the turtle, but it's going to be landing into two members. But fortunately enough, they do have the Purify. That's what the Purifies are for. A double for the Iritel. 5-2, but Kazakhstan did get the turtle though.
They did get the turtle, and that's a consolation prize. Uzbekistan starting to extend the lead a little bit. We saw that arrow being thrown out into the back line, followed up with the Badang engaged. It looked good, but Iron snuck into the back line and stunned two of the Kazakhstan's core with that Blade Surge. And just like that, it cuts off any sort of damage support from Kazakhstan and allowing themselves to come in with counter kills. So far, Yasya has been untouched, right? 5 assists,
Mm-hmm.
having able to use all the artilleries, all the salvos from the Feather airstrike are causing massive problems for Kazakhstan because it's blowing out the backlines.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the timing also of Psycho, but without the Purifies there from Hinata and the rest of the gang, they're going to be able to sustain though. But as long as their core or the Iritel is up, it should be okay. So once Psycho or maybe even the Selena does get the right target here, it's going to be deadly for the side of Uzbekistan. They're going to be taking in as much as they can. The turret's a little bit of overextension just there, but 40 seconds before the First Lord is up, the gold lead is not that far off actually between these two teams. It's just a matter of Uzbekistan being able to front or maybe even countering out the setups here being made by Psycho or maybe even ILM.
Yeah, they just don't have the damage. It's the same scenario as Myanmar against Philippines game one, where you have a lot of crowd control, but you don't have the damage to, kind of make use of it, right? Like you can stop. Kazakhstan can stop Uzbekistan member from moving for quite a long time, but you don't have the damage to finish them off. That's going to be quite a problem because your primary damage now comes from the Granger, right? Everyone else is
Mm-hmm.
sort of like bursty, very cooldown reliant, so only Granger can kind of consistently throw out damage. And without that Granger in play, you are not going to have enough output to eliminate your targets. So I think for Kazakhstan, they need to somehow find a way. Like once the Sky Piercer comes online, they need to somehow feed it into the machine to make sure that this Granger is going to be in a good position when the game goes late.
Okay, that's gonna be Hinata. Not gonna be popping that Purify just yet. She's able to sustain. This Baksha actually feels like the jungler right now with how fast they're rotating with this Baksha. It's they got the lane contained up against the Lapu Lapu, and right now I think for Kazakhstan, the main key is just getting again the layering of skills here from the Badang, the Lapu Lapu in play. But we haven't seen that just yet because Uzbekistan has been taking down turrets after turrets. We've seen them catch glimpse of each other, but nothing just yet. Turquoise Pusats not yet committed for now as Kazakhstan backing away from all of the things here. And there's the setup from the Kalea, but it is going to be the Granger bursting everyone down. Blink DD. There's a lot of damage coming out from the members here of Kazakhstan as well. Blink DD.
Good
Gonna be
stuff.
able to get a triple kill there onto Space Loves Us. And that's gonna be three members just like that. And you were talking about the Granger, and that's the opening that they needed. And checking the KDA here of Blink DD, that's gonna be 302 on this Granger, left untouched, just pushing the lanes up on side, which gives Kazakhstan a much better positioning on this turtle, or on this Lord rather.
That's just the best case scenario. The Granger literally got like 30 Sky Piercer stacks off of that, right? A triple kill, fat go injection, and a team fight win that gets converted into a Lord. Kazakhstan cannot have asked for a better chain of events. Now they are in control of the game. And also gotta give props, we say that they have a lot of crowd control. We saw what happened with this Badang, with the Selena, a good kidnap
Oh.
mid. The Badang goes down, but
Mhm.
still, it's a support for support. Kazakhstan still has control of the game.
Yep, it's gonna be a duel between these two teams. At least they can at least take out the outer turrets here after this Lord take for the side of Uzbekistan. It's just absolutely amazing how all these purifies are up every time that either the spatial migration lands or maybe even the missile arrows lands on these heroes of Uzbekistan. But there you go. Second tiers are being taken down one by one here for the side of Kazakhstan is something that they definitely need because Uzbekistan has been creating so much pressure all across the map. And Linkdiri already active on this Granger, already online with this Granger, just farming up really, really well and having the most gold earned as of the moment here for the side of Kazakhstan.
Yeah, definitely activated. If they can keep this Ranger alive, then that's all they need, right? The Sky Pistol stacks, the more he gets, the more she has, the easier it is to take down all these front lines that seemed impenetrable back then. But the good news for Uzbekistan, they still keep the inhibitors up. Another fight.
Oh, there's a feathered airstrike, and Space Lovers forced to use that Purify out. That's one resource out, and there is a Tsunami Slam coming out from Saudi Fly. That's going to be one for none trade. So that's the best clapback that Uzbekistan can have for now. So once the Kalea does have somebody, burst it down and then wait for the next move to happen. They can't just overcommit in any of the team fights as long as the purifies are not up just yet, especially for the Farsa and for the Iridel.
Almost a solo kill onto Iron by Psycho, who was one level down. Honestly, I think Kazakhstan, they kind of committed a bit too much, right? They gotta remember that there are 3 purifies on the core targets of
Hmm.
Uzbekistan. So if you want to commit so much, you have to make sure that the target instantly gets blown up, or you play tug of war. You push and pull. You bait at the purify, you back
Hmm.
off, and for the next 90 seconds, you try again. And in that case, they full on committed and allow a easy tsunami slam. So that was pretty
Hmm.
unfortunate that they lost the Lapu Lapu in the process. But again, they have the map control, and because that they recovered from a slow start, they are going to be able to control the map regardless, as long as the Selena is around.
Yep, 9.5k lead as well for the Granger of Blink DD. As you can see, it's almost a full item already. Right after those 3 kills, it was just a momentum swing going towards this Granger, which hasn't been shut down just yet. But the minion waves are just so good. They aren't forgetting about the macro play here, which actually really helps out both sides of the teams to create pressure on the side lanes. And here comes the Lord, the yeah, the Lord is up here for the taking the second one here for both sides. Half HP already. They're doing their best to burst this down as fast as they can. But then again, there's so much crowd control. It's gonna be Iron picking that up for the side of Uzbekistan. Bravest Fighter has been committed, but they're gonna have to back away from this one and defend up against this Lord, and that's gonna be Uzbekistan successfully securing it for their side.
Yeah, a free Lord too. They saw Cycles on the map and they instantly run down the Lord. Very good decision making to bring them back into the game, and Kazakhstan also cutting their losses, not wanting to commit unnecessarily, understanding that if they commit and they lose the fight, suddenly it's inhibitors going down. And they have some tools to deal with these waves. And it's not the end of the game just yet. Even for Blink DD, it's going to have a
Mhm.
Badang to support her for any of these rotations. And they already are dealing with the Lord Psycho and Lanayim in the bottom lane. I don't think Uzbekistan can get too much structural
Mhm.
damage done.
Yeah, there's also a really fast rotations from the XP, right? From Hinata and Soji Fly there with the Kalea. But for now, they're gonna try to get as much turrets as they can. The Lord is still up, by the way. Psycho's gonna be taking care of that one. But for the rest of the teams, since the minion waves weren't cleared out that fast, they aren't able to convert that much. There's also the threat, also of course, from the setups from the CCs here from the side of Kazakhstan, so they don't want to overcommit just yet. And as you can see, Lord bursted down here, but in control is going to be Uzbekistan. They might actually try to contest for this purple buff.
Actually, Uzbekistan got nothing out of the Lord. No structures, nothing.
Yeah.
They couldn't manage, the waves were not set up properly. Kazakhstan
Hmm.
responded very early on, and they were able to basically nullify whatever advantage that Lord would have brought. So we're back to square one. Purple buff would go over the cycle, not a problem there. Kazakhstan making sure all the housekeeping is well done, and I think the bottom tier 2 is still going to stay up.
Hmm.
At the end of the day, if you're Uzbekistan, you got a free Lord, but you're not able to convert it into any sort of a meaningful lead, now gives Kazakhstan more time to reset the state of the map. Holy Crystal up for Psycho.
Hmm. That's huge, especially when you land that spatial migration onto three. But then again, there's the purifies, right? Like I feel like at this point they should either bait out these purifies before the Lord take either for Lana, right? Like the bravest fighter, or maybe even the abyssal arrows here from the Selena could bait out all of these purifies coming out. This is also the reason why Psycho isn't able to land in any of these combinations just yet, because the purifies are almost all the time always up. If not, it's Soji Fly going in for the tsunami slam, and then they just respond to that. But for now, even playing field up against both sides, but it's still going to be Uzbekistan with the gold lead. But now bottom though, Hinata gonna be having a 1v1 here up against Psycho. I'm not so sure if she has the okay, she still has it and is able to make the minion race. They're gonna force this out though. Fettered airstrike, a lot of the ultimates being faded out as the Lord is up in just a few seconds. They're able to take down the second tier finally, something that should have happened earlier on. As the rest of the members here from Uzbekistan gonna try to go in for the engage. Lana once again popped in that Bravest Fighter a little bit too early there. As Fly looking for the next target here. They're gonna try to go in first on this Lord, knowing that the rest of the members here of Kazakhstan are a bit far off from the map. So it's again gonna be the Lord take. They're gonna go in for the full engage once again. 30% has been committed. Fly not gonna be able to get a whole lot more. They got what they wanted, the Lord. The pressure, this time the minion waves are coming through.
Oh,
Oh,
and again,
there's a from INF, but there's gonna be the shutdown onto Blink DD at that Iron. A double kill picked up ILM. That was actually a very nice setup, but unfortunately, the damage wasn't there just yet. It wasn't such a fast response. The feathered airstrike Psycho, but the purifiers are still up. And Lana gonna try her best, flickers out to safety after the spider. There's still the Lord marching down bot as the resident members of Uzbekistan. They're gonna try to clear out as much as they can, take as much as they can, and convert this to more turret takes for this side.
that was a great engage, but Psycho wasn't even with the team, so it was essentially a 4v5. If Psycho was there, I think that would have been a straight up team fight win. As much as there is the Purifiers on the side of Uzbekistan, the one thing that doesn't care about the Purify is the Badang wall. You press Purify, but the wall is still going to block you.
Mhm.
So,
There's still damage too.
yeah, it's missed opportunity from Kazakhstan. They can still try it again. They have one more shot. All the inhibitors are up. They just need to take care of the Lord. So this is by no means an endgame scenario, but it does make it harder.
There is the tsunami slam there from Soji Fly. It is going to be Lana Yim taken down there. A double kill for Space Loves Us. It is going to be them locking in the base as Uzbekistan takes this first game W up against Kazakhstan.
Kazakhstan could kick themselves for this game, for how that game went down, because they had every opportunity to hold the Lord. Obviously, I felt like the last Lord that was taken by Uzbekistan was given for free. Now Kazakhstan kind of lost focus a little bit, But the fact that we saw a potential communication breakdown where Psycho just decided, you know what, I'm gonna go farm my purple buff, and then the team starts to fight, and then that's kind of what led them to a loss. Despite the early parts of the game, both teams were playing on par. It really shows that Uzbekistan has got the game under more control. Because when we saw the triple kill and the 30 Sky Piercer stacks for Blink DD, we were like, this is it. This is where Kazakhstan is going to start coming back into the game. This is where they hit their power spike and come online. But unfortunately, they were just not able to capitalize the potential
Mhm.
power spike that they have until the very end. Because this was the fight that really gave them that sign of life, that really,
Mhm.
gave Kazakhstan the chance to fight back.
Mhm. Yeah, this was the setup from Mlbb, and almost immediately Iron just goes all the way in, picks up that double, and at the same time, turrets after turrets are falling. And apart from all of that, I would actually expect a bit more of aggressiveness coming out from Kazakhstan with this kind of lineup, but there's so much hesitation in this game. I think they wanted to play it a bit more safe, but with how Uzbekistan could control the tempo, it was difficult to find the angles. Apart from all the purifies that was available here for Uzbekistan, that's three members from their side with the purify. So it was also difficult to get the layering of combos that they wanted to happen here for the side.
Yeah, it was just very unfortunate for Kazakhstan because I think they had the ingredients to make it work, right? Let's say there's a purify on three members of Uzbekistan. If you can land a decent arrow or two, then it kind of puts them a threat, right? Because the arrow, if you don't purify it, there's a chance you get jumped on. But I feel like it's just the overall kind of handling of the later stages of the game that needed a bit of polishing because they were giving Uzbekistan a bit too much space despite having a Selena to work with, a Selena and a Badang to work with. And that's kind of how Uzbekistan took advantage of that, and they got two free lures back to back and were able to win the game eventually.
It's a support farce at this time. I actually didn't notice that. Such a clean game for both the Suyo, right? Like, which we were questioning, wow, this is like patches ago. Yeah, it's patches ago, throwback to what happened before. But then again, it worked out so well for their side. We weren't expecting the Baksha and the Suyo coming out, but it actually worked really well for Uzbekistan. But for Kazakhstan, though, so much missed opportunities there. I was actually waiting for the layering of skills coming out from. Yeah, it would be so good, right? Like you get the Guinevere, the Badang, and at the same time the Lapu Lapu. But there was a lot of. I felt like there was a lot of hesitation coming out from their side. I felt like they wanted to play it a bit more safe this time. Wait for them to scale up a bit more, but let's find out. We're gonna have to find out because it's already match point for the side of Uzbekistan as we head over into game number 2 in just a bit. But for now, me and Husky will be taking a short break. We'll be back with more Mlbb action here at the Iesf Asia and Oceania qualifiers. The match point for Uzbekistan and Kazakhstan for our final matchup, final series of the day. So we're going to have to find out if Uzbekistan will close this out with a 2-0 or if it is going to be Kazakhstan forcing a game number 3 once again. We've seen a game number 3 for the previous series. Still with me, Kim and Husky, bringing you the action here for our second match.
Yeah, and I gotta say, both teams have shown us something unique, right? In terms of they go for the meta power picks, but they also have some unique flavor in the Baksha XP lane. Didn't expect to see that. Uzbekistan made Suyo jungle work, which is a pick that would have been considered to be obsolete in a lot of other situations. We saw the Guinevere jungle being brought back by Kazakhstan themselves. But one thing that did define that game one was that late game management, right? Where Uzbekistan just had better control, better understanding on how to play around the macro because they were getting free objectives and they were able to capitalize on these loopholes that Kazakhstan kind of showed in terms of team fighting and communication, which is very well demonstrated with that 4v5 we saw in that top lane before the game ended. So hopefully going into game two, we see that kind of get polished a little bit, right? Because the idea was there from Kazakhstan, they just were not able to pull it off because they were not on the same page.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think apart from the uncontemporary picks that we have to see today, a little update for everybody also. Our off-stream match, Iran versus Oman. It is Iran that won. So if you guys want to get a little bit more of the updates also on the off-stream matches, you guys can catch that over on iesf.gg for more information. Also, our ongoing matches as well as they're being updated as we go. But for now, heading over into game number 2, Husky, are we hoping to see more of these uncontemporary picks or maybe even shades of what we've seen in the previous seasons? I hope to see more of that because it just gives you so much openings or stuff to talk about during the game, right? Like usually you'd see a very contemporary lineup, the what fits the current meta, but rarely do you see the teams pull off something like this. Yeah, Guinevere in the jungle, Suyo in the jungle. This is so much throwback to what we had before, and it honestly was utilized well. It was a I would say a tight matchup, but eventually closed out really well. I hope to see a little bit more of the aggressiveness that I hope to see in Kazakhstan in game number 1 with the lineup that they have. Hopefully, they do have that since it's already a match point, and I think it's different when you say it's match point, right? Like you have to bring out the A game, you have to bring out your ace cards, the trump cards. This is time to bring it out.
Yeah, I think if anything for Kazakhstan, they I don't think they need to change too much, right? If they want to go with the same play style, maybe I think maybe not the Badang, maybe a Jawhead would have been better in that game 1.
Hmm.
But either way, the only difference maker, like I mentioned earlier on, I think was just that late game management where I felt like Uzbekistan were more in sync in how they want to move around the map and how they want to take on these fights. But for Kazakhstan, they just need to uh, kind of be more aware of I think the map, right? Because they don't give away free objectives. I think it's a good way, it's a good start. If they are giving away lords like that, then you're always playing on the back foot, which was kind of what put them behind in the first place. So I want to see if they have more interesting picks. I definitely wouldn't mind seeing more picks that kind of throw us off our game, because that's kind of what makes it interesting in the first place.
Hmm. Yeah, but so many things that we've seen today. A game number 3, for a lot of these teams. There was a possible upset earlier for Philippines and Myanmar, but obviously that didn't happen. We're heading over into game number 2 here for Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan. Almost immediately, like what they did in game number 1, super fast bans. It almost knows like it feels like they know what they're going for, but then again they pull something different off in the second phase. So I'm not so sure if it's going to be the same route that they're going to take here in game number 2.
Again, they start off with the Arlet, no Bruno, no CC, Hayabusa gets banned out again. Yeah, I guess almost the same as the first game. Let's see. I mean, the Juicin is still open, right? Juicin, Uranus, both are still available. The Lancelot we also saw was sort of like ignored in the first phase. Gato gets banned out. We saw the
Yeah.
Baksha get picked out. I wonder if Kazakhstan would consider banning the Baksha in the first phase because of that.
They call me a hero.
Yeah, the Baksha
because
that
I saved my
actually almost
nation
feels
from
like
falling
the jungler at that point for Hinata. Picking that up for the XP lane, by the way, not as the jungler role. So now the Lancelot, yeah, even in the matchup of Philippines and Myanmar, right? The Lancelot was almost always open every single time, but nobody picks it up. They actually always either pick up the Kalea. The Farsa Prio pick as well comes through here for Kazakhstan. Will they also go for once again the Lapu Lapu for this matchup? A very solid XP laner, I would say, or maybe perhaps pick up something different on the XP. The Uranus that worked out well for the Philippines. Great sustain, also great frontline, great for zoning. Or something like a Phobius to go in for the full engage, which actually was a problem for the Philippines in their matchup up against Myanmar, where the Infernal Pursuit was just too much to handle in the team fights. It just kept resetting. But Uzbekistan, knowing also what they're comfortable with, locking in the Iritel. The only difference is the Farsa is not in their hands. They lock in the Baksha here as well,
Wow.
which is, I would say, flexible pick.
Yeah, still a very flexible pick despite there being a Kalea already. The fact that they've already shown that what they could do with the Bucks in the
I
XP
am vengeance
indicator, right?
incarnate.
It's not into obvious, and suddenly it's a sandbag lane, like what happened in game 1. So the Moskov as a response on Kazakhstan, I do like this. A bit more mobility, very self-sufficient, but at the same time you can play the map a lot more. That's kind of what we talked about in game 1, where they were losing control of the map. And now with the Moskov, you can kind of play cross map and join the fight whenever you
Thorns
need,
remain.
whenever you
Should
want.
pet
With
with
the
scorn.
SOD, Selena and Lancelot getting banned out as we now tap into the jungle pool. But for Uzbekistan, even if good junglers are banned out, they still have the Baksha as a fallback plan.
Mhm. Yeah, the Baksha
The
or the
immortal one
Fredrin is
chose me
also,
to
by the way, still
vanquish the
open. That was
shadows
banned out
that
in
plague this
game number
world.
1. And there you go. The respect also onto the Suyo that really worked out well for Uzbekistan in game number 1. I
See
mean, who would
value
have
in
thought
me?
that was the case, right?
You
If you're
should.
talking about the previous patches, yes, definitely it is more or less in the first phase. But yeah, you wouldn't expect to see it in this current meta. The Fredrin also, the ban coming through, expecting this might actually be the case for Kazakhstan going for a utility. Now they still do need their roamer, somebody that can keep up with the tempo of the Kalea here, somebody that can also frontline for the far side.
My
Will they go
mission
for a
is
high
to protect
loss?
life.
Oh, there you go. The high loss. I would say this is much better. It seems like Kazakhstan is not it's more of like yeah, they love to play it more on the safer side, which is actually not that bad, right? If you want to play a bit more on the careful side, so you want to have somebody who to soak out the front line, position well as the marksman and the mage, and then hit those right targets that you need to hit. And with the high loss, they can definitely do that.
Now the question is, who jungles, right? I mean, Akai is still
Mm.
available. There's still Akai
Mhm, yeah.
if you want to jungle, but
X4?
the Xborg,
Yeah,
yeah.
X.
And
Mhm.
wow, hold
Oh,
on. That's a Paquito
okay.
XP, I
The
think.
Paquito X. Let's
It could be
see
a
if they
Paquito
kind of
jungle.
switches.
Right? It could be a Paquito
Yeah.
jungle. Wouldn't be surprised.
Yes. Yeah, yeah. I mean, with how they played the Baksha on the XP, it's also a great way to contain the Phobius if you're talking about, lifesteal, if you're talking about sustain. And Paquito, though, I don't think, I'm not so sure, though, if you're going to go head to head with the
I am
Phobius, right? It's
more
better to put
than
it
a
in the
weapon.
jungle side. They cap it off with the Julian for the side of Kazakhstan. There's a whole lot of magic damage, though, here for the side of Kazakhstan,
Yeah. I
with
want to
this being the jungler.
like this Paquito is so ambitious, right? Because it's not an easy matchup to play into. Phobius can stop you. There's
Mhm.
like decent crowd control.
High loss, even.
The high lows is going to stand right in front. I'm not really sure what the main plan is going to be with this Paquito. It is a Paquito jungle, by the way. It's iron on it.
Mhm. Yeah.
So let's see. I mean, he showed us some great skills, some great mechanics with the Suyo, which we kind of wrote off from the meta for quite a while. So bringing this Paquito is a blast to at least 10 patches ago. So I want to see what Iron has made
Yeah.
of. He definitely has made this interesting.
Yeah, seasons ago, even in professional play. So yeah, I know there were some buffs adjustments that were made in some patches, but yeah, we barely do see this in the jungle. I know like this was the time when it was like still season what like season even way before season 10 happened here in the Philippines. So it's crazy to see all of these nice throwbacks coming out from Uzbekistan. I see like the peak of me casting also in Mlbb. I've seen this Paquito being put into play, but honestly, it could be deadly with the right. And so it's just this Paquito has to find an opening every single time with the high loss, with the beefy front line here that Kazakhstan has. It's also gonna be vital to time in the knock-up strikes here to be able to get the targets that you want.
Yeah. I mean, it can look incredibly flashy when done right, that's for sure.
Mhm.
And of course, Paquito and Julian, especially Julian, right? You technically unlock your full kit at level 3. So
Yeah.
that's sort of like what makes Julian special. Before Suyo was a thing, at level 3, you essentially have your ultimate already. So you can kind of make these early off-tempo plays, off-tempo ganks.
Mhm.
Obviously, compared to Suyo, Julian is slightly worse at that. But at least
Mhm.
your man fighting capabilities is always gonna be there.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of purifies here too. This time Hinata is on a vengeance, so that's gonna be purifies up on Yasya and Space Loves Us, of course, care of the stuns from the Farsa, even the Infernal Pursuit. So crowd controls here are gonna be negated, but yeah. The timing of the ultimates also are going to be important as the first turtle is going to be up here for the taking. 15 seconds for both sides. Hinata again doing Hinata things up on top, able to contain that Phobius. And it's actually, I think, a little bit ahead. Not unless, they get a pick off on Lanayim here, but mid lane though, Yasya and Ayawim. They're going to be poking. each other first before they position themselves in the Turtle Iron, already reaching that level 4 Psycho as well. So Turtle's going to be up right now, 1/4 HP. Feathered airstrike onto the backside. They're going to be evading that, but oh, it's going to be Soji Fly trying to get a target there. But with the Purifies and the Revitalize up, it is not going to be an easy target as Psycho going to be able to take and steal away that first Lord for the side of Kazakhstan, and that's going to be the first blood drawn onto Hinata. Glorious pathway as well onto the members here of Uzbekistan. Psycho goes in for the finish here, and the purple buff to take in as well here for the side of Kazakhstan.
Great start from Kazakhstan. Uzbekistan just they don't have the tools to fight like that, right? We saw the fight ended as soon as the cooldowns are out from Uzbekistan and they were sent running. They did not have the right ultimates. Kalea doesn't have Tsunami Slam just yet. The SOD didn't connect from Blink DD, or I think she would have joined and got a couple of extra gold for herself. Bottom lane, this is also pretty dangerous, right? Bringing this Iritel low. Let's see if they can at least get the Farsa.
Okay, the knock-up strike there, and Yasuo to finish it off. That's gonna be a clapback. Hinata as well on the top side, getting a solo kill on the online game on this Fovia. So level 4 power spike has been hit. So Uzbekistan just going in for those solo pickoffs when they do find the members here of Kazakhstan either off chart, in a very open position, they can actually take them down. The knock-up strike plus the combo here of the Kimi can be absolutely lethal. The purifies have been used up already here for Yasya, so that's something that Uzbekistan needs to consider. Taking a look at the items here, everybody on their way towards at least the first or the second item.
Here to pick off. They should be able to kill
Mhm.
this without any
Mhm.
repercussions. No
Yep.
way. Hylos just got away like
Yep.
that. And they lost
Yep.
the Kalea.
Yeah, I mean that's the price that you have to pay if you go for the full engage. But Psycho though, gonna get sandwiched in between the members here of Uzbekistan. So this is what we were looking for earlier from Kazakhstan, right? This is a whole lot more engaged than what they've had in the first game. So this is a bit more aggressive from their side, knowing that they got a Phobius, they also got a high loss. They have absolutely nothing to fear. The second turtle is of half HP already. Dex Primal hoping to land in that feather airstrike, but it is going to be iron with the retribution take in here for the side of Uzbekistan, securing in that second turtle of the game.
Yeah. Good try. Now recycle down. You need to. It's very hard to take these objectives, but I mean Kazakhstan they didn't really lose too much. The second turtle for Uzbekistan, but the important one is the third turtle when it spawns. Whoever gets it is going to get a decent injection that gets them brings them into the mid game with an advantage. And not to mention this Kimi, Yasya is quite a threat too. Again, consistent damage is what this Kimi brings, but also the constant, the constant crowd control, right? The traction pulse, we saw it really make life hard for the Farsa.
Lanayem forced to flicker out to safety, but not for long. As the Turtles Pusans and the knock-up strike will be taking her down. 4-4 is the score, and the turret up top for the side of Uzbekistan. Now the pressure is on here again onto Space Loves Us. Iolim trying to find an angle with the glorious pathway. He has the Purify there just to evade the potential threat here from the side of Kazakhstan. They want Blink DD to get this lane. AOG as well committed. Feathered airstrike. Dex Primal taking down real low, but Yasha as well getting assassinated there on the mid lane as Iolim Iron as well trying to go in for the kill, but that's going to be the revitalize popped up by Iolim.
Massive value from the Moskov. Not only gets the bottom tier 1, but gets a kill still.
So, yep. Soji Fly not going to commit to more of the ultimates. They got in one. Iolim taken down their mid lane. That should be enough for the side of Uzbekistan. 18 seconds before the next turtle is up. I think what's going on here, like what you said, the Moskov, the global presence. I think if Blink DD can catch the members here of Uzbekistan off guard, and she's actually still standing pretty strong here. 1-0-1, no pickoffs just yet on her. She can, stay as much as she wants on this bottom lane, just clear out the waves, pressuring out the bottom side. So she can just keep doing that, pop in that AOG, join the team fight much later on, and still come in with style. But this is going to be the last turtle. Uzbekistan, no contest at all from the side of Kazakhstan, going to be taking it in once again for their side.
And that's gonna, we talk about the Moskov as well, right? Like the lane pressure you can give. They will
Hmm.
pick off
Yep.
the phobias. SOD does connect, but she can't follow. There might be a solo kill
Mhm.
angle. Takes it to escape, but still goes down. Uzbekistan, that's a big, big kill.
Wow, you can see the stickers coming through, the confidence from the side of Uzbekistan. But I think for the side of Kazakhstan right now, they're just gonna be not forgetting the macro plays as well, making the side lanes move as Space Loves Us. Gonna be getting that turret down bot as well. Hinata with the Turtles Passage, it's not so easy to pop in the Infernal Pursuit. This is also the reason why they prioritize this. Iron gonna try to get in Psycho there, but it's gonna be a bit too difficult. It's a difficult task to do. They got a Phobius, they got a high loss as well. So timing is gonna be of the most importance here for Iron to go all the way in. Soji Fly though has been so good with those tsunami slams, those setups for the side of Uzbekistan, which is actually the reason why it causes Kazakhstan to be a bit more reactive here on all of these team fights. Though they are a bit more aggressive now, but here comes the Lord in 46 seconds. A lot of the waves being cleared out by our marksmen over on the side to create pressure. And looking at the goal lead, not that far. Again, just a 2K lead here for Uzbekistan.
Yes, the
Hmm?
small
Ayole?
wins. Like getting more though, that's a
Hmm.
better airstrike force. Now they commit to it. That
Hmm.
is a kill.
Oh no! Yep, the flicker has been used as well, and the revitalize, or rather, the flicker out from Lanayim. And now they're gonna force out this mid turret as again the sandwich Space Loves Us gonna be able to take down Iolim on that Hylos just before the Lord is up. Actually, I think it's really difficult to see the Phobius in this state, right? Like you want to be able to pop in the Infernal Pursuit, but most of the time, what's happening here to Lana Yim is just tanking up all of the damage that Uzbekistan is throwing, and not to mention as well the tsunami slams coming out from Soji Fly.
And we see Dex Primo starting to have a very rough time. Like all these traction posts, especially when she doesn't have the Purify available. And even if she does, it's going to force the Purify out if she's using the Feather Airstrike and then suddenly a Traction Pulse flies towards her. And you have to worry about Sokji Fly's Tsunami Slam too. Even without the Flicker, it is incredibly dangerous. Uzbekistan, despite getting having a slow start, now are in the lead with the Lord in their possession. And if this tier 1 goes down, suddenly they lose control of the map. Dex Primo getting the Blood Wings online, and a lot is going to be on the shoulders of Psycho and Blink DD to start playing that side lane. They have the advantage in manipulating the waves, but if they can't do that, then it's going to severely impede what this Moskov can do.
Oh, Iolim again getting in. The setups after setups here from the side of Uzbekistan. There's the feathered airstrike, shredding apart the members here of Uzbekistan. But unfortunately, that's not going to be enough. Turtles Passance has been committed here by Hinata. And just like that, no casualties at all for both sides. The Lord is still up, by the way, on the bottom lane. For the side of Uzbekistan, this is what they need to do once again. At least convert to some turret takes while the Lord is up. 10 minutes into the game. Let's see how this will pan out for them. I think they should be able to take down this mid tier though.
Yeah, her Lord didn't really yield too much except for a mid tier 1, so still only a 3k goalie for Uzbekistan. Not too much. The SOD does miss. Blink DD needs to escape.
Mhm. Oh, the setup from the Kimi onto the backside. The Space Loves Us. Gonna be free hitting the members here from the side of Kazakhstan. The fitted airstrike just stops the bleeding though for a bit. A 1v1 duel up top. Iron up against Psycho. The knockup strike. But the lifesteal is just too much. When you don't get the combo, it is gonna be Psycho there getting in that solo kill up on top and taking a look at the damage deals. It's actually Dex Primal there, right? Like you see the damage, the magic damage amp up right after the Blood Wings, but it's still not enough to shred apart the backlines, right? For the side of Uzbekistan.
Yep, and we have a winner in the 1v1. Again, this Julian is just a bit stronger. If Iron unleashes his full combo and can't take out the Julian, that is lights out. Then he just loses because his skill goes on cooldown and he loses damage. So something to take note to keep in mind for Uzbekistan. Yasha just got a Sky Piercer too, a bit late into the
Mhm.
game, but can pay off if the fight gets extended, right? Helps them take out these front lines that Sogdifly kidnaps with the Tsunami Slam. So at the end of the day, it's still a net positive if they can put it to good use.
Yeah, I think at this point is they're gearing up for a fact that they can actually get in those kills, right? With these clashes that are happening time and time again in different lanes, and even here Hinata is just relentless on the chase here, up against the key members here of Kazakhstan. But having the lanes being managed here by Blink DD, for the side of Uzbekistan, the most that they can do is actually clear out the pressure on the sides before the Lord is up for the taking. And I think with how things are going, the mid lane down here for the side of Kazakhstan, it's going to be much easier for the side of Uzbekistan. Not unless there's going to be engaged here with the with Iolim's Glorious Pathway. Not been committed just yet, knowing that there's going to be the Tsunami Slam to answer out to that. They're looking for Blink DD or Dex Primal. Soji Fly just containing in that side. A Psycho, gonna get caught there from Yasha. And the Glorious Pathway has been committed. Feathered airstrike from the backside. Lana Yim gonna take down Iron right before the Lord take is up. Psycho gonna get blasted down here as well. But there's two members left here. The Lord is still up, by the way. Just a few more HP, but they're not gonna mind that as they go for the pickoffs after pickoffs. A double for Blink DD and the Lord to take in for the side of Kazakhstan.
Yeah, Blink DD saves the fight again, the SOD, because if Blink DD wasn't there, there was a universe where Yasha could have cleaned up the fight with the Sky Piercer. The members of Kazakhstan were all so low, but Blink DD shows up and basically just destroyed all of them. So this Moskov, a literal game saver, brings Kazakhstan back into the driver's seat, gets the Lord, and right now Uzbekistan needs to, again, rethink how they take these fights, especially Iron. He is not going to have enough damage to one-shot Psycho. Maybe you can do it to Blink DD and Dex Primal under the condition that Blink DD doesn't have Winds of Nature and Dex Primal's Blood Wings have already been destroyed. If not, then Iron is just a crowd control bot with a knock-up strike. Uzbekistan, they need to change this attack plan. Is it Yasya and Space Lovers that needs the actual space to deal damage? Iron, you can't just all in and throw your life without anything in return.
Yeah. The turrets are going down one by one now with the Lord take from Blink DD. Turning the tides around here up against Uzbekistan with their backs against the wall. They still need to take this down, but this is the time to engage for the side of Kazakhstan. The Glorious Pathway and even the Feathered Airstrike to peel apart the members here from the side of Uzbekistan. There's the Shred, there's Lanayim trying to go for more, but the Tsunami Slam will take her down as they go for the retaliation here onto Psycho. They're taken down real low. The Lord melted down. The AOG is gonna land but not gonna connect. Uzbekistan gonna successfully defend their base for the price of two here for the side of Kazakhstan. I still say a great pressure from the side of Kazakhstan. It is gonna be a matter of the engage right now. There's gonna be the next Lord up for the taking. 77 seconds before that is up. But we'll have to find out. It's now Kazakhstan on the driver's seat.
Yeah, it's a win for Kazakhstan for sure. They throw two bodies for two inhibitors. And the Lord's going to be spawning bottom side, so the long lane will be in favor of Kazakhstan. Not to mention that they have a Moscow. This is Moscow's favorite spot to be in, where you have control of the lanes and you are in the lead. So now they have multiple win conditions, right? It's either, Bing DD goes for the back door or he sets up the side lanes, and if the fight happens, he joins with the SOD.
Lanayim again getting in the Tsunami Slam. No Purify at that. The setup from the Kimi. But from the backside, the Fitted Airstrike is going to take down Hinata. Soji Fly taking a lot of the damage. Revitalize has been popped, but Blink just making the plays. Look at how fast she's shredding everybody apart. A double kill. 3 members down for the side of Uzbekistan. And now it's only Iron and Yasha left to defend. They can successfully take this Lord. Well, actually, I think Iron's still going to contest this. They should be able to clear out the waves, but again, the Moskov is just way too deadly at this point. It doesn't even have the Inspire, so I would be afraid to even dive in all of these team fights right now. Look at how fast she's shredding this Lord apart.
The biggest difference maker was the timing of the Winds of Nature. The moment the SOD connects, Space Lover just press her Winds of Nature without checking if Blink DD was there.
Wow.
This is the free Lord. Uzbekistan clearly losing composure in this game. This Paquito jungle, we did question it from the very beginning, and we are seeing like why this Paquito jungle is not going to work out once this game goes late. They are still technically going to be able to defend with the whole team because Lord hasn't spawned just yet. The timing was a bit off. It'll be spawning in 14 seconds. But this is going to be a very, very hard defense.
Yeah, the feathered airstrikes though are always almost all the time on point, right? Like this is what kind of shreds apart the lineup here of Uzbekistan to back away from these team fights. They get peeled down, and at the same time, the Moskov here of Blink D, they can go in for the final kill. Here comes the Lord marching down mid. I think for the rest of the members of Kazakhstan, they're just waiting for all of the minion waves to crash in here, the base of Uzbekistan. And now it's gonna be Hinata and Soji Fly up to make the plays here. There's still the Tsunami Slam, but up against the members here of Kazakhstan, it's gonna be really difficult. Fetid Airstrike, there's Soji Fly taking up a bunch of the damage. Fetid Airstrike has been used. The Kimi here of Yasya is also dishing out a lot of the damage. The Lord is still up. They can go in for the Glorious Pathway, but that timing has to be right. Soji Fly taking in a brunt of the damage here, coming out from the Curse of Crow. But they're not gonna go for more no casualties just yet. But going in for the plays. The immortalities have been popped. The winter crown. But look at Blinky locking
There's
in
no
the base,
wave!
but it's not gonna be enough. There's no minion waves. A double kill picked up there by Yasya, as well as Iron to pick up that other kill. A triple for Yasya. And as you can see, the Sky Piercer, I think right now should be able to stack up to at least 50 at this point. 4 members down. They successfully defend the base. It's only Dex Primal left to defend. They got the feathered airstrike, but with this, is it enough to actually take down the base? The death timers are up 20 seconds before
Lord
the
the
rest
wave.
of the members are up. Here comes the feathered airstrike. They're gonna try to get in. The Purify is used as well, but takes down the members here of Uzbekistan down real low as still the Dex Primal still dishing out a lot of the damage. It's not gonna be enough, but the inhibitor is down here for the side of Kazakhstan.
Not a problem there for Dex Primal. They did lose an inhibitor, but still, they got all the inhibitors on the side of Uzbekistan. The Feather Airstrike was more than sufficient. As long as they blow up the wave, they will be safe. And now, next Lord will spawn just in time for Sock Deep Fly to come back to life. If this Lord falls into the hand of Kazakhstan, this game is going to straight up end. They almost got the win just now. They just didn't have the wave. And we saw
Yeah.
Yasya's Sky Piercer come kick into effect. Just straight up executed everyone on the side of Kazakhstan. But with all 3 inhibitors on their end and a Moskov, this game is pretty much Kazakhstan's to lose.
Yep, it's also an immortality here for Blink DD. So this kind of actually gives her that safety belt that, yeah, I still do have the time to buy and sell. But for now, wasting no time at all, Kazakhstan gonna be able to shred apart this Lord, bursting it down real fast right before Uzbekistan is even able to come right in and go in for the steal. That's gonna be Kazakhstan taking it in. And like what you said, the base here of Uzbekistan is bare. There's no more inhibitors left here. Um, only for Uzbekistan left to defend this one. Let's see. It is the third Lord after all of this game. So this should be enhanced Lord, super minions coming in. So they gotta defend this one up against the side of Kazakhstan if they want to extend this game even longer. But as you can see, the Fedid airstrike, the Moscow era of Blink DD is just too much to handle already for the side of Uzbekistan.
Yeah, if all the waves are synced up, then I don't see a way for Uzbekistan to defend this. They
Mhm.
need to be able to clear the waves and stagger them. They're gonna try and stagger it now. The Lord's gonna come in without a wave, so they will have a bit of an opening to work with. But that opening is gonna close very, very quickly when the next wave crashes.
Yeah, even Hinata is taking a whole lot of damage coming out of the Farsa, but there's a feathered airstrike. And this is Yasa forced to back away. Soji Fly buying in a little bit more of the time, but Hinata has the immortality. It has been popped, but Space Loves Us tries to go for the pick off as Kazakhstan forced out a game number 3 once again. In this matchup, it's a 1-1, and Kazakhstan gonna be taking in game number 2.
I'll be very surprised if this Moskov doesn't get banned out in game number 3 by Uzbekistan, because the only problem that they could not deal with was this Blink DD Moskov. If we kind of take the Moskov out of the equation, I think Uzbekistan would have won this hands down. So again, a fantastic pick to kind of plug the holes of what Kazakhstan lacked in game 1, and just great mechanical prowess from this Moskov. From start until end, Blink DD was the reason that they were winning team fights, that they were getting side lane controls, and he was the reason that in these team fights, and every time it seems bleak for the team, Blink DD becomes the savior.
Yeah, it actually took in at least like 15 minutes of the game. Plus, the feathered airstrikes from Dex Primal were also pretty deadly, right? Like you already peel the front line, and all Blink DD needs to do is just go in, dive in for the kills. It's gonna be so much more easier to get in those pickoffs, just like that, right? Like you peel in with the feathered airstrike, you need to go in and finally get in those basic attacks and just rip everybody apart. And as you can see, timing is almost all the time always right. It's a back and forth when it reached the mid to late game. But Blink DD again, no one to take control of this. It would actually made more sense if there was maybe an Akai here for the jungler, right? Like the Iron here's knock-up strike is almost um unusable at this point. It's mostly for the pickoffs onto Ruby or onto Blink DD rather, but most of the time you can't even reach the Moskov. Before you can even reach Blink DD, you get ripped apart as well. It's overall a very good game. We reached like the 21-minute mark here. I would say a long game, if you say by ISF standards.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, this game really was defined by the Moskov, right? Even if they didn't, they had, they almost ended the game like before the 21-minute mark, right? They that in that second last push, they just didn't have a wave to deal with. But we kind of saw how this game is going to go when this Moskov started popping off, and it went exactly the way that we thought it would be. Fortunately, this time the Hinata Baxia XP lane was not able to really keep this Moskov in check, and just you can see like Uzbekistan, they started to panic, right? Some shades of what happened to Kazakhstan in game one, where like Iron started to lose effectiveness, and we are seeing just very reckless usage of the Winds of Nature by space lovers. Every single time the SOD lands, before she even sees the Moskov on the map, she already pressed the Winds of Nature. So by the time when she needed it, she doesn't have it, and it was an easy win for Blink DD. So well, we go another round to see who comes up on top.
Yeah, I feel like at this point, you just want to see more of Husky here for today. Wow, the moment that you came in, there's a whole lot of game number threes, but this is actually the way that a lot of the MLBB fans wants it to go, right? Like you get a lot of action-packed MLBB for all 3 games straight. And honestly, we were usually the expectation is like, yeah, let's go in for a 2-0. But you know what? In the very first day of MLBB Women's, we get at least 2 game number 3. So it's a hard reset once again for the teams here for the last matchup of the day. And honestly, it's been a long day, especially for me. But let's see, we're not done just yet. We have one more game. This is Kazakhstan versus Uzbekistan. We're gonna be back for more MLBB action here at the ISF Asia and Oceania qualifiers. We'll be right back. There you go. After that short break, hope you guys caught up with all of the action that's happening here. I mean, it's a back-to-back 3-game series. It's still me, Kim, and Husky bringing you guys the action for our final. This is for sure the final match of the day as we head into as we kind of wind down for today. But we're not gonna wind down without one last match. We've seen a lot of comfort picks come out, repeat picks actually from the side of Uzbekistan. But I think for this game, like what you said, let's see if the Moscow will either be banned away or actually get picked up here by the side of Uzbekistan.
Yeah, I think for my philosophy is actually very simple. If I don't have an answer for a pick, I might as well get rid of it. Or if they have a Moscow player, I think they can pick it up themselves. But clearly, Moscow was a big problem in the previous game. On top of everything else that they already had to deal with, the bans so far are still the same. We see the CC, the Bruno, the Arlet. So I don't expect it to change too much. Ishin did get banned out. We saw the Lancelot getting completely ignored. Previous game, Uzbekistan did go for Fredrin ban in the 5th slot. The Gatot ban as well. So their opening sequence is still the same, right? It was still the same from game 2. Let's see if that changes. They have gone for Kalea first pick twice. It has a 50% win rate. And if they go
Yep.
for the Kalea, I can expect Kazakhstan to go and take the Farsa away.
Yeah, not unless they want to start up with the Farsa, right? Which we've seen with the other teams actually do. And yeah, this was Kazakhstan's answer to that. So which leaves this with Kazakhstan maybe perhaps stealing away the the Kalea that Uzbekistan has picked up twice, by the way, in this entire series, or maybe perhaps go in for their jungler already, or maybe steal away some of the picks that Uzbekistan has been repeating since game number one, the Baksha, that's very flexible, and then yeah, they're gonna go for the Hylos Moskov combination that works so well. Not gonna be stealing away anything that Uzbekistan has. Why not uh, there's nothing that was like this actually had a very good run in game number two, which actually brings us to this situation, game number three. So yeah, they started off real strong. Let's hope that they can power through this pick. Uzbekistan right now, they can go ahead and pick up an XP laner, maybe to go head to head, or not unless they want to go for the Baksha pick here once again.
Yeah, they are going to take the Phobius and Kalea, so actually not bad, right? I mean, Kalea Farsa is a kind of a very standard pick, and this Moskov 100% is going to have the Purify, so I think it's also very smart of Kazakhstan to instantly take the Moskov for themselves, just in case it gets stolen or get banned out. Now I think here you could technically pick your XP lane, you could pick a Glue, I think a Glue is not too bad, and then you start banning out some junglers, and then you pick the best possible options for yourself. Or they could pick the Lapu Lapu, you know, to have some dive onto the Farsa.
Mhm. There's still a lot of sustain here for the side of Kazakhstan. They pick up a Phobius this time for Uzbekistan. I would still say that the Baksha is still something to consider in the jungler position, right? Like great for roaming around the map since they have a very mobile lineup here. They got the Farsa with the Wings by Wings that can really go lane to lane. But right now, Kazakhstan just taking out options here. The junglers that were picked up in the previous game, the Julian and even the Suyo that worked really well for the side of Uzbekistan.
Okay, so going to the jungler, I hope they don't ban the Pakido, because I don't think the Pakido is a problem at all. I think you can leave it open. They banned the Granger to protect that gold lane. So there's a chance that we see the Iratel again for Uzbekistan. That would be like their comfort from the previous game. If
Mhm.
not, then perhaps what else? Perhaps a Harif. We haven't really seen that just yet. The
Yeah.
Kimi is still up for Kazakhstan if they wish to go for that. We've seen the Kimi be sort of an answer for immobile
Mhm.
heroes like like a Phobius and the Farsa to a certain degree.
Yeah, I was gonna say, why isn't the Zushin being picked up? It's actually open in the first two games, and no one just like they chose to go for like yeah mostly the Kimis and the Farsas for this particular series. Kazakhstan, the Fredrin is still open here if they want to beef up this lineup further. They got ways to engage with the Glorious Pathway and the Bravest Fighter. So to add up the Fredrin to the lineup here is an additional way to soak up the damage and then maybe pick up a really good burst mage to add up to this lineup that scales really well for the side of Kazakhstan.
Yeah, I agree. Or they could take the Iesf. Plenty of zone crowd control, right? The Iesf Farsa matchup, we haven't seen that for quite some time. So it's pretty nice to see it back in action again. Let's leave them room for the jungle last pick too. What else? I mean, the Baksha is kind of still up if
Mhm.
Kazakhstan wants to consider that. I think they have plenty of leeway to work with compared to Uzbekistan right now, who has to complete that draft and are looking for a strong jungler and gold laner.
Mhm. The gold laner that can go head to head with the Moskov, right? We've talked about the perhaps like the mage um, gold lane that can go head to head with this Moskov. If you want like a Claude with a little bit more mobility, but it's gonna be really hard to pick up that Claude. Okay, somebody to shred apart the front line, but in terms of the range though, I would have to give it to the Moskov here. Has a much more global presence, but if you want to take down the front lines, this is definitely the way to go. The carry to add up to the lineup of Uzbekistan. And like what I said, the Baksha, that is a much better choice when it comes to the jungle. And Kazakhstan locks in. Instead of the Fredrin that's actually still open, they go in for the export that can also dive in the back lines with the last insanity.
Alright, so the export jungle against the Baksha jungle. And thankfully, Uzbekistan, they do have the carry, so the carry is going to be very important in these fights. As the game, as the later the game goes, right? Because she's going to be the only person that can reliably shred to the high lows, the Lapu, and the export. Pretty even draft from both sides. I'm liking what I see here, right? They both have coverage from both the early until the late game.
Hmm. Yeah, both sides covered. It's just a matter of the engages here for the side of Uzbekistan and Kazakhstan. Most of the time, I think for Kazakhstan this time they have a whole lot more options, right? Apart from the phobias that they had in the last game, the bravest fighter, the glorious pathway to engage, and not to mention the
Mhm.
last insanity also that is enough to break apart the lineup here of Uzbekistan. But for Uzbekistan, they got great AOE with the Farsa that had very very good win rate. But for Soljifly, it is still going to be the Kalea. It seems like she's very very much comfortable with this hero. But let's take a look at who has the Purifies over on the side of Kazakhstan later on as we head over into the last and final matchup between these two teams, Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan, for the last time for today in our game number three.
Yeah, one way or the other, one team will walk away as the victors
Mm-hmm.
of the series. Of course, in export jungle, you generally have very fast clear. I mean, just like the Baxia. But I'm happy to see the Iesf. Again, we talk about the new passive that she got, where instead of a new passive that she got, where instead of getting
Mm-hmm.
out charges, you basically gain extra shield whenever you hit someone with an ability that can't stack, which is pretty nice. They kind of move the ult mechanic to a passive, and it also gives her that lane priority when you pair her up with someone strong like a Hylos.
Yeah, the poke, the peel that the Eve has. I think the last time I've seen these two go head to head was yeah, ages ago again when it extended to a very very long matchup, and that's what you can get, right? Like with two mages that have more of the range, a lot of the pressure as well onto Space Loves Us. Kazakhstan knows for a fact that the when it comes to the range, right? Like the carry still needs that time to scale up as compared to the lineup here of Kazakhstan that can go for the full dives here up against the carry. So there's that pressure. Blink DD, at least a level up ahead up against Blink DD.
See how this is going to play out in the turtle fight. I would expect Kazakhstan to have slightly more control. It's because you have an export and a Lapo on your side. You did point out that they have plenty of dives. Yasha needs to be incredibly careful. That's why she has the flicker to reposition if ever. They will slow down her level 4 take, so Kazakhstan gets priority over the turtle.
Hinata is here as well with the level 4, so she can go for the Infernal Pursuit. And there you go. And the real world manipulation at that with the Fended Airstrike to boot. And that's going to be Soju Fly. Going to be the first one to fall as Iron. Going to be able to pick up that turtle while all of that is going on for the side of Uzbekistan. And that's the Infernal Pursuit still going on for Hinata. Still going to try to go for more as she takes down Psycho. Ayalim, though, does take her down. And Iron, the only one left to defend, does not have the rollout just yet, as Dex Primal and Lanayim will be the one to take her down for that. Two for the price of one there for the side of Kazakhstan.
Oh, actually went better than I thought for Uzbekistan. Iron doing a lot more damage than expected. In fact, the Psycho ended up going down, so 3 for 2. Turtles 2 goes over to Kazakhstan, but it's not too bad for Uzbekistan considering that they were able to get 2 kills off of that, especially the one onto Psycho. So there's no goal advantage, sadly, for Kazakhstan, despite them having a on paper better team fight.
Mhm.
But that also allows them to kind of keep up with Uzbekistan. Like the gold lane is going to be static for now. Both gold laners are not going to interact in any meaningful way.
Mhm. Yeah, they know that this is gonna be the late game scaling for both sides. So it's a matter of playing safe, maybe perhaps wait for your team members to kind of respond towards that lane. But right now the turtle is gonna be up in just a few seconds, down bot as well. You don't see Line AM overcommitting towards the bravest fighter. It's just gonna keep on resetting here the ultimate of the Phobius. So looking at how this is panning out here, a lot of pressure from the side of Kazakhstan here on the carry. I would actually do the same, right? Like without the range, with only the flicker out, this is definitely gonna give the Moskov a little bit more of an easier time. But once the carry does have the items, it's gonna be a bit more harder. Turtle is up here for the taking for both sides. It's Uzbekistan that got the first one. Let's see if Kazakhstan will actually try and take this one out. The Phobius is here as well. Hinata, Lanayem as well, trying to follow up here onto the team fights. No one committing just yet.
Mhm. The second turtle, again, the dive potential is there for Kazakhstan. Here they go.
Yep, that's the real manipulation. And the last insanity, it's gonna be Soji Fly. Then the first one falling, Hinata with the internal pursuit, but with so much of these crowd controls coming out from the side of Kazakhstan, they are gonna be able to pick up the kill. Dex Primal goes in for another. Space loves us. Despite all of that, was able to survive it all, getting in the corrosion site as well. But the turtle, it's gonna go to the side of Kazakhstan.
Yeah, I mean, good stuff from Blink DD again. We said this Moskov was a big problem in game one. Just now we saw the SOD collection. So another kill going over to Blink DD. I believe that Space Lovers also got one just now. But this time is a lot more beneficial for Kazakhstan because they did get the turtle and they got some pretty big kills too. And we're starting to see the power of the draft. Just the dive alone from this export is forcing Yasia to be a lot more careful in her approach in these team fights. Of course, Yasia still hasn't gone down just yet, but they have to always be worried of Psycho, Lana Yim running at them in a team fight.
Yeah, plus Dex Primal's RWM also has been so on point. Even the first and the second skill coming out from the Eve is way too deadly, way too much control for the side of Kazakhstan. And as you can see, the pressure here up top as Blink DD gonna be able to take in that lane. And even with Psycho's presence here, it's forcing Space Loves Us and Yasha to actually back away. But here comes the setup. The Firaga armor is still up though, I'm not so sure.
Huh?
And that's gonna be down though. Psycho, feathered airstrike, it's not gonna land as Psycho's still able to escape all of that. Iron is here as well with the retaliation with Psycho down real low. Glorious pathway on the backside, but they're not gonna commit for more. Revitalize has been used as well to keep Psycho up. It's still Kazakhstan that's leading right now with the gold. Final Turtle is up for the taking for both teams.
Can't believe Psycho got away with that. He's gonna get his she's gonna get her Firaga armor back up. Have the last sanity and ready to contest this turtle again. But it seems like Iron will be on the case, and he might lose another in the progress. They do.
Oh, yeah. Turtle is actually gonna get taken in there by Uzbekistan. It happened all so fast because our eyes were all on that team fight. And I think what's really making it hard here for Uzbekistan to actually land in those kills is this real world manipulation. You got the glorious pathway. There's just so many things that you need to consider first before diving right in. The Baksha is a good answer to all of the sustain, but right now the positioning here from Space Loves Us and again even Yasya here, they have to make sure that they are in a safe spot before they land in or click in all of these ultimates that Kazakhstan they have so much of these good ultimates that is good for zoning, not just Lanayim, even Psycho and Ayolim with this high loss. It's just a lot to take in here for Uzbekistan, even though they have a good amount of damage with the heroes that they have.
Yeah, pretty hard to just walk up forward. This RWM is also posing to be quite a problem because Hinata and Iron can get deep into enemy territory, but once they do, both Yasha and Space Lovers is gonna get zoned out by the box. So Kazakhstan essentially has the tools to separate the battle lines of Uzbekistan. Gotten the mid and bottom tier one, all tier ones in fact of Uzbekistan are down, and unfortunately for Sucklify, there's not really any good targets that she can pick up until Space Lovers gets incredibly fat, and that's where they can
Hmm.
shred the front lines. But before that, grabbing a Hylos isn't
Yep.
worth it. Grabbing the Export definitely is not going to be worth it.
Yep, and even this, right? The mere presence of Iolim and Dex Primal here is just enough to make Space Love us rethink or reposition herself in that situation, right? One glorious pathway is deadly enough as the Eve and even the Moskov here can go in for the kill. But right after that, they also do a mirror move up top here for the side of Uzbekistan, taking that turret up top, making the lean move as well. So with this sword take, let's see. It's Kazakhstan that has the much better positioning as Ayolim and even Psycho doing the zoning here for the side of Kazakhstan as Blink Didi just taking down that Lord without for the side of Uzbekistan. It's a little bit difficult to go in as Ayolim popping in that glorious pathway and the setup here from Soji Fly. Lord is still up with half HP. Iolim taken down real low with Infernal Pursuit. The immortality is still up. Hinata goes down here. Psycho still has that
SOD!
second chance, that second life, and it's gonna be her taking up that Lure take a maniac from Dex Primal on the backside. The real world manipulation enough to manipulate to control the members here from the side of Uzbekistan in that team fight. We were also focused on the Lord, but the damage, the zoning, the control from the side of Kazakhstan was just way too much. And even Psycho at that, the immortality was popped. It was enough to buy time for her to secure the Lord with that retribution after the immortality was out.
Yeah, we should say that the impact of this Eve is going to be a big difference maker, and we saw just that. And not only does she get shield from abilities, the cooldowns will also reduce. So more spell cast, more damage from Dex Primal, who was just pelting away at Uzbekistan. Not to mention Blink DD with another good SOD that allows her to infiltrate the backline and essentially just take out the remnants, the survivors of Uzbekistan. Then the immortality from Psycho also allowed Kazakhstan to fight for a bit longer. They ended up losing the high-lows, but they got all the tier 2s of Uzbekistan, so that is still a win for Kazakhstan.
Yeah, this is also surprising, right? The flickers hasn't been used as much by Dexter. I think just once in this entire team fight, considering that there is a Baksha, even a Phovius to kind of zone you out. But look at that! Just one real world manipulation like that, enough to take down somebody as tanky as Hinata. And now with 12 kills here under the belt of Kazakhstan, some minion waves coming right in. Kazakhstan might actually force this out without the Phobius in play. They're just waiting for the ultimates to be up, as even Psycho is enough reason for Uzbekistan to back away from the team fight.
Need to spread out their manpower just to defend the silent inhibitors. So they do use the Feather S, right, just to keep Blink DD away, but there's the Revitalize from Iolim, so Moscow back to a healthy state again. Kazakhstan can just stall it out, wait for the next Lord. You know, you send this Moscow to the top lane, set up the long lane when this Lord is about to spawn, and then Uzbekistan will have to respond to that wave, and that's where you get to secure the Lord. It's all about the macro game. We've seen both teams kind of trip over the shoelaces a little bit. Kazakhstan did that in game 1, Uzbekistan did that in game 2, but I would argue that game 2 was more of a draft issue than anything else. But they have the Moskov on the side of Kazakhstan for this game. Just like in game 2, they will have a say in how these macro game go.
Yeah, it's interesting too that the Eve here of Dex Primal actually prioritize more of the anti-heal, right? You got the Wishing Lantern, you got the glowing wand. So usually we see the Eve build up the Ice Queen wand first. I'm not so sure about this current patch also, right? There are some changes made to the Eve, so prioritizing that anti-heal is gonna be big. But look at the burst damage coming out. Lim burst it down just like that, but they're gonna have to answer out to the minion waves as well. Kazakhstan gonna be able to take down this lord without any contest from the side of Uzbekistan.
And the carry has reached a state where she can
Mhm.
literally just shred through anyone like butter. We saw that happen with Iolim the moment Stocklify gets a tsunami slam. Space Lovers just cut through her health bar like it was nothing. Of course, with the absence of this Hylos, this push will not be as threatening. That's why Kazakhstan are letting the Lord slow push as much as possible. Sadly, there's not enough wave to hold it back, so it will be easy food for the carry to deal with.
Even Blink DD here is causing a lot of
Whoa!
the damage, and with the slows from the Eve, real manipulation again from the backside. Gonna get taken down there. That's huge. Blink DD though gets the feathered airstrikes at 141, and now the glorious pathway has been casted here. Infernal Pursuit to buy some time here for the side of Uzbekistan, but there's the last insanity to take down the back lines. Iron gonna be able to sustain for a bit, but not for long. She gets bursted down there by Psycho. It's only Yasha left to defend, and with this PV front line, the three calls are up as the side of Kazakhstan successfully takes this series with a reverse sweep up against Uzbekistan.
It was a Moskov that was the MVP in the previous game, but for this game, Kazakhstan's Dex Primal's Yi was flawless, really manipulating the battlefield with this hero. A deathless game towards the very end, and basically just the win condition. Kazakhstan complete. I even pointed out that the Yves is a decent pick. Kazakhstan made it look easy. There was really nothing that Uzbekistan could have done in this game. Like that carry was probably their best choice, but we saw
Mhm.
how much damage Dex Primal was pumping out once she got her items, and it was just straight up melting through the health bars of Uzbekistan's front lines. And even in these early exchanges, which looked even, I would argue that it was more of a plus for Kazakhstan than anything else.
Yeah. Where do you see an Eve go head to head with a Baksha just like that? I mean, at this point, it looks like Blink DD was just the support role for this matchup, right? Like the Dex Primal dishes out the damage. Blink DD just goes in for at least the slows coming out from the Moskov. But what was really difficult also, apart from the damage that Blink DD and Dex Primal had, was of course the front line that they had, the Glorious Pathway, the X-Borg as well with the last Insanity. And this is the time where the Immortality was out, but it was enough to get that retribution on time there for Psycho, and getting the Maniac here for Dex Primal as well was absolutely a huge W here for Kazakhstan. And right after that, there was no answers to the Eve, even with the possible setups from Soji Fly. It wasn't enough to take down the main damage dealers that they needed to take down here for Kazakhstan.
It was just nothing much Uzbekistan could have done in once they started falling behind, because they didn't really have the tools to deal with the side waves. They didn't really have the tools to deal with Dex Primal, and their win condition is just Yasia and Space Lovers have to somehow have enough damage to take out everyone, and that just was not possible with the draft that Kazakhstan has. Lapu Lapu, X-Borg, and then there's an Eve that's just poking you from long range. It is incredibly tough for a carry to function when the enemy has so much range coverage, and we kind of saw that
Mhm.
kind of unfold, right? Space Lovers can't really get into these fights without being threatened.
Mhm. There's so many ways to go in and out of the team fight also here for Kazakhstan, but which really made it hard for the carry also. We've seen times that Space Loves Us can actually shred apart the high loss, but apart from that, right, it was just Eve and the Moskov here. And looking at Next Primal, she had such a good game in game number 2, and even here in this game with a perfect KDA with a 908, and even picking up a Maniac at that in the second Lord take to be able to take in the spin. It's definitely not an easy. It's not easy to pull off a reverse sweep, but definitely very much possible. In Kazakhstan just showed us that for this game. Props to both teams. I think for Uzbekistan as well, showing such a good game in game number 1. But then again, there can only be one victor for every single matchup, and that's going to be Kazakhstan for today.
Yeah, again, kudos to both teams, right? I came into the series with expected to be surprised, and they definitely have surprised us with some clean, some very precise MLB gameplay, but also adding their own flair to it, right? They bring us back down memory lane with some very interesting jungle picks. In fact, we've seen like what the Paquito, the Julian, the Guinevere, even the Suyo, 4 jungle picks that you will probably never see in the current meta, at least not by the top tier teams. But here they are showing us that these heroes can still work. Even the Baksha XP lane
Mhm.
was kind of proven to be effective. So really kudos to both teams for giving us such a good fight. Obviously, Kazakhstan with the reverse sweep definitely made it worthwhile.
Yeah, it's a 3 game series for Husky for today. Definitely got a whole lot of MLBB action for you, and of course for all the MLBB fans, and of course on behalf of Realize earlier on, me, Kim, and Husky, it is the day done, all wrapped up in a nice bow there with 2 back-to-back. Game number 3 is getting more of the women report this week, so stay tuned on Iesf. There's going to be a whole lot more of games for this week. So stay tuned. Same time for more MLBB action. For to see you guys. Good night or good morning, whichever part of the world you're in right now. But this has been it for the first day of the ISF Asia and Oceania qualifiers. See you guys tomorrow for more action.